Good evening, I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Dan Wolf. Thanks for joining us. President Biden visits the Twin Ports Thursday, touting his infrastructure law.
Governor Tim Walz is expected to join the president for his visit, but today he was in Duluth promoting his own 2024 infrastructure plan. Northern News Now's Madison Green was there as the governor toured the wastewater treatment facility, which received millions in state funding. Madison?
Laura, Dan, over the last 25 years, the PFA has helped fund nearly $200 million for different projects for the Duluth plant. Earlier today, Governor Walz was here showcasing two of them he deemed a success. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz toured the WLSSD wastewater treatment facility in Duluth Tuesday. The visit to promote his 2024 infrastructure plan. He highlighted two projects at the plant that have received a combined $30 million from the Public Facilities Authority. Director Marianne Bourne says without the state support, their customers would have incurred the costs.
So if we weren't able to get funding through PFA, we would have to bond. We'd have to go out and get our own bonds for funding projects. And the difference between a PFA loan and private bond funding is probably twice the interest rate.
PFA provides low-interest loans and grants to different water systems and transportation projects. In this case, the water clarifier needed emergency repairment in 2023 and received $17.5 million.
You know, it's one of the key steps for treating wastewater. We have no ability not to use those, and so that would have been a catastrophic result on both our plant and the water quality that we produce.
This year, Governor Walz is proposing $119 million of the nearly $1 billion in his infrastructure plan to support PFA, which he says is vital for helping all communities across the state have access to clean water.
And so I think as you think of small communities across Minnesota to keep ratepayers, they don't have the taxpayer base. They don't have the property tax base to be able to pay for this, but they still want to live in those communities, and that's why this program is so critically important.
Governor Walz argues continuing the PFA allows the state to keep up with the speed of funding needs, and Bourne agrees. In Duluth, Madison Green, Northern News Now. During his trip, Governor Walz also met with Mayor Roger Reinert, joined Jen Schultz for her congressional running announcement, and visited the 148th Fighter Wing.
Now, the first of a couple very big visits here in the Twin Ports this week. Madison Green reporting live for us from WLSSD. Thank you, Madison.